But all right, let's get into the new show. As I said, there wasn't really much going on. Let's get through the stupid stuff first. All right, I got to talk about it because it's gaming related. But this gaming news I'm starting with also crosses over into mainstream world political news. And if I say something that pisses you off, you take your shit too seriously. It's a whole nother debatable conversation we can have on why you shouldn't get mad about the shit you hear, whether it conflicts with your points of view or not. I'm going to be as unbiased as I can in what I'm going to say. And basically, I'm just going to meme and make fun of some shit. And if me memeing and makes fun of something, this political hot topics happens to piss you off, well, you have to fucking watch me. You saw my disclaimer. Let's get into it. So, you see Nintendo suing the United States government? Did you see this? But it's just not Nintendo. Apparently, it's thousands of corporations. And this is only because of, the recent Supreme Court ruling about the Trump administration's tariffs. Nintendo sues U.S. government over Trump's unlawful tariffs that led to last-minute switch to pre-order delay. Demands refund with interest. But it's not Nintendo. It's a lot of companies, a lot of major companies. I'm not going to go through the list of names. You have heard of all of them. Platform holder is seeking refunds for the initiation and administration of unlawful trades. We'll browse over the GameIndustry.biz. GameIndustry.biz is the most unbiased, most detail-oriented, factual gaming industry news outlet that exists. They have some. They don't have AI. They don't use AI. They have this one guy that his shit is just so factual and brief. It's just like about a paragraph of 4 sentences. Just like blah. Here's the facts. Here's the summary. It doesn't get into any kind of opinionative based shit. But we're going to browse this article for a minute. Nintendo of America has filed a lawsuit against the U.S. government over the initiation and administration of unlawful trade measures last year. This is after the Supreme Court has said that it was unlawful, all right? That's why the Supreme Court ruled, hey, this shit is unlawful, this was wrong, and that's the only way that this lawsuit was going to go through. Otherwise, the thing about it is, it's not the Trump, dude, it's not Trump himself. Trump will be not impacted at all from this. As this article specifically points out, it's different departments within the government that are being sued. The U.S. Department of the Treasury, the Department of Homeland Security, the Office of U.S. Trade Representative, Customs and Border Protection, and the Department of Commerce. Yeah, I mean, we're literally shooting ourselves in the foot here because this motherfucker is like at the wheels making all these decisions and himself literally suffering no repercussions, and that's funny. It's funny that this dude's fucking president. I don't care who's president. I just think that Donald Trump is the ideal poster child for what America represents. If you want to know what America is really about, and you want to know what a real American is, go look at your president. That is a real American. Donald Trump is a real American. Donald Trump represents exactly everything that America is about. I'm not saying I'm in politics. I'm not saying I support Donald Trump. I'm not saying I'm against Donald Trump. I'm saying the fact that this fucking idiot is a goddamn president is a goddamn meme. In America, you should be proud. Here's your boy. Here's your poster child, America. This motherfucker represents everything that's wrong with our society. He represents everything that's wrong with the world, and he represents everything that's wrong with fucking America, and he's the president of America. What the fuck does that say to you, you complacent motherfuckers? All right? Sorry. I normally don't talk about shit like that, and I said I would get heated, and that's as far as I'm going to go. got what you deserve. When you do nothing, shit happens. And it's the reason I don't get involved in politics or follow it anymore at all. I don't get bent out of shape about it. I just think it's funny. Anybody who gets bent out of shape about the situation needs to go take a hard, long look at yourself in the mirror, because you're the problem. Literally. Quit taking your pressures. Yeah. It doesn't matter who's president. Biden, Obama, fucking Trump. There'll be some bitch getting fucking bent the fuck out of shape about whatever the fuck is going on, and it doesn't profit you anything or anybody anything. You just getting mad about nothing. Literally getting mad about nothing. You are getting mad about nothing. Realize shit don't matter. Realize. There's this fucking TikTok guru dude. He's a fucking comedian. He talks like this goddamn guru. He's like, shit's fucked up, man, but you got to fucking chill. You know who I'm talking about? I gotta look him up, not today. So yeah. These articles, specifically this one by IGN, goes into some further details to point out that if Nintendo or any of these other corporations do win the lawsuit, and they are fairly compensated with interest as they're requesting. When all this was going down, prices were going up because of these high tariffs. Specifically, what was going on at this time with Nintendo was the release of the Switch 2, I think, and its components and stuff like that. And so Nintendo is trying to say, yeah, you made these prices go up. The thing about it is, you think any of this fucking is going to trickle down to you? You're going to get any of that money back? No. Nintendo profited off you. They're going to profit off the tariffs being up, and they're going to profit off suing and getting their money back. And even though you overpaid and Nintendo says you overpaid, you don't get any of it back. So does this even matter? Matters to somebody because it's all over the fucking news. You as a consumer, you don't get any of it back. Nintendo likes your money, and it likes it when you give them money and you play their games, and it likes it when you make their game hits. But it doesn't like you enough to give you your money back. Just keep that in mind, consumers. Keep that in mind, consumers. Here we go. Here we go. This is the last hot topic. The last hot topic that crosses over into mainstream politics. From GameDeveloper.com. This from PC Gamer. This from Eurogamer. This from IGN also. From IGN and Eurogamer, they're highlighting a specific individual, the guy who voiced Master Chief from Halo series games. He's straight up calling out Master Chief actor Steve Downes hits out at the White House for use of his voice in what he quotes as disgusting and juvenile social media video. Yeah, these motherfuckers are getting ripped off. Literally, if I were to do that, I'd get sued. But the Trump administration has been using gaming media as propaganda, and it's been in the news for a while. I just haven't been talking about it because, as I said, it crosses over into mainstream political news, but it's been going on for about a fat minute. I mean, when the war in Ukraine first started, we heard about Russia using propaganda footage from Arma 3 because it was such a realistic mill sim. But the gamers look at the news like, no, bro, that's a fucking Huey from Arma 3, bro. So the articles are talking about the major pushback from the whole gaming community and the whole gaming industry as a whole. So, you know, a lot of people are like, this is fucked up. You know, a lot of the voice actors, you know, I get paid for this, and you're using my shit for free. Disgusting and juvenile war porn, he said. War porn. And another article was calling it war porn, too. Oh, shit, here we go again. White House uses video game clips to promote its war in Iran, including CJ's iconic line from Grand Theft Auto. There's also Call of Duty information, a bit of Pokemon for good measure. Department of Homeland Security will continue using game and pop culture iconography in its messaging states the Department of Homeland Security. They're like, yeah, fuck you. What are you going to come make us stop? Maybe if this lawsuit on this other matter goes through, they'll fucking stop. Yeah, fuck, man. What's up, gamers? You're getting fucking a bad rep. You got the United States government going after Tencent. Yeah, what do you League of Legends and Valorant? Valorant? Y'all won't play some Valorant? What do you League of Legends and Valorant people are going to do, man? What are you going to do? All right. Also, still in the news that I talked about like 3 news shows in a row is Valve. Still in the news. It's not redundant. Now we got the state of Washington trying to sue Valve. And so there's a lot of these little lawsuits coming from different states within the United States, all right? It's like all these little nickel and dime things going on, right? And I got a conspiracy theory. I bet there is some motherfucker out there financing an initiative for locals in these different states. I mean, the Koch brothers used to do shit like that. For example, here in Houston, when we were trying to put the light rail in, the Koch brothers came to Houston trying to give us more goddamn money to buy more fucking buses and more. Here, buy more cars, buy more gas, buy more oil, because they're oil guys. They have major stakes in like major automotive corporations. So they would go around to local cities that were advocating for clean public transportation and electric transportation. No, don't do that. That's bad. Here's some money for some fucking gas guzzling buses. I think something like that's going on because these lawsuits are popping up one after the other. But Valve will win. They always win. They've been winning these lawsuits since 2014. But Valve is a privately ran company. For all we know, this whole movement could be spearheaded by corporations who want their fingers in some of that money, right? Get their fingers on some of them hot IPs and some of them profits in that fucking skin market. Because I'm sure if Valve were a corporation with a fucking board and a publicly traded stock on the New York Stock Exchange, this wouldn't be happening. Gabe's like, fuck y'all. I'm going to take my ball and go home. Shit. A class action lawsuit was filed by a plaintiff's law firm against Valve. And this was in the state of Washington. Last week it was the state of New York. That would be a really big problem. A specialist lawyer weighs in on New York suing Valve over Counter-Strike 2 and Dota 2 loot boxes. Valve sued by the performing rights. Okay, this is a different Valve. Not only is Valve getting sued for its quote-unquote gambling practices, apparently they use someone's likeness and they don't feel like they've received proper compensation. Now, I'm sure Valve will fix this issue. Valve is really good about doing the right thing. So I'm not sure why this story has made it this far into the news, because usually by the time it gets here, it's usually like the story's like, but Valve gave them what they deserve, you know. The Performing Rights Society has commenced legal proceedings against Steam owner Valve over the use of its members, plural, are possessive works on Steam without permission. The organization claims while games right across the spectrum use music to transform play into emotional immersive experience, Valve has never obtained a license for its use of the rights managed by... Okay. So, Valve is just a storefront. If that video game is sold in Walmart, would you sue Walmart? Because basically they're trying to sue a store that sells a product. They're citing that, you know, this shit is in these games, and that if, for example, you ever been to the Steam market and like one of my videos got copyright claimed by MGM Music because of a Christopher Cross 70s song. And it was the theme song used for the video game Dispatch. I'm like, yo! And of course, they removed the claim because it was illegitimate. Because like they can see I was making a reaction video. I was like, yo, I'm a content creator. This is a reaction video. about this game, and this is the marketing video on the Steam store. So they strick it. So a lot of that goes on. You got to watch out. Even commercials, like if you got a commercial on your TV playing in the background, you got to be careful. Not only is Valve still defending against these gambling allegations, and now this whole, Performing Rights Society lawsuit, they're also dealing with Steam Machine problems. That's right, Steam Machine is back. If you don't know, Steam Machine was a thing. The old Steam Machine was like Steam was like, yeah, here we have this operating system, and you can market your product as a Steam Machine. Just put our operating system on your computer, but try to make your computer be like a console. Put it in a small format, blah, blah, blah. So for a while, there were certain custom computer manufacturers and some of the big corporate ones, like HP or Dell and Compaq back in the day. I doubt not Compaq was like before that, I think. Don't quote me on that. But to make Steam machines. And so everybody made their own version of a Steam machine. But this Steam machine is literally a fucking box made by Valve, not just an operating system. And they're really trying to market it. They got, the Steam controller's been around. You know what the Steam controller is? Old school Steam controller, man. They quit selling Steam controllers by themselves. They're so highly valuable and coveted devices. I think they come with a fucking Steam machine now. And of course, the Valve's, whatever it's called, VR headset. Let's get into some articles about it, though. I think hardware is exciting. I mean, I've talked about Valve getting sued before. That's not exciting. This is the old New York article. It's, Valve will win. They've been fighting these court. Valve has been getting sued about this shit since 2014, guys. Nonstop. Been defending themselves against this since 2014. So at this point, it's not even really news. But let's talk about the Steam box, the Steam machine. Valve have reworded a Steam blog post after its original unsure sounding text left open the possibility of further long-term delays. Yeah, basically hardware delays. The 2025 year review article only briefly touches on the machine as well as the upcoming Steam controller redesign, which I'm kind of excited about because it was a coveted item for a minute when they took it off the market, and the Steam Frame VR headset. But its previous phrasing of "we hope to ship in 2026," accompanied by a reminder of ongoing widespread memory shortages and SSD prices and graphics card prices, did have the kind of there's another delay, 2027. So it sucks. It's been pushed back to 2027. It's kind of official now. I mean, we've been hearing about news and shortage and how it was limiting the availability in their production, and now I guess production is there is no production. They got to wait for the ship to become available and affordable, because that expense with the run on components for AI computations. Oh my god, I don't feel like talking about it. Man, did you hear about how much money Battlefield 6 made and how profitable it was? Yeah, they just fucking laid off a shitload of people. Electronic Arts lays off staff across all Battlefield studios. That's like 4 studios. It's DICE, whatever. Yeah, they just posted profits. Battlefield 6 devs reportedly hit with layoffs after what EA called the biggest launch in franchise history, an estimated 20 million units sold and profits, and they fucking canned a bunch of people. Fuck Electronic Arts, man. I'll never play another Electronic Arts. There isn't even one that's appealing to me. There hasn't been a good Battlefield game since Battlefield 4, bro. And they knew that. So after Battlefield, whatever it's 20, whatever it's called. I used to play Battlefield 2142, so I often get 2042 and 2142 mixed up when I say the name. So yeah, Battlefield 2042 was made by a guy from Call of Duty, the guy that recently died in the car wreck. So that's why the helicopters like Call of Duty. That's why the game kind of feels like fucking Call of Duty. It's not Battlefield. Yeah, they just posted record profits. They laid off a shitload of people. Despite celebrating a record-breaking launch for Battlefield 6 towards the end of last year, which saw its top Steam charts and move 7 million copies in only 3 days, EA's laid off. So, even though there was like a lot of people, like 700, 600,000 people playing it or something, user has dropped off. There's only about like 50,000 people playing it right now. Maybe that is added to it. These layoffs will impact workers at Criterion, DICE, Ripple Effects, and Motive Studios. So those are all the studios that were impacted under Electronic Arts ownerships. There have also been some community criticism directed towards Battlefield 6 in February of this year. Yeah. We already know. It's not really... I don't know. It sold a lot of copies, but they're out of those sold copies. Here's a number. 747. That's just on Steam. Remember, you can play Battlefield through the EA's game, the Origin client, or the EA client, whatever it's called now. So these Steam numbers don't account for that. So there was probably... I don't think there was 1 million people playing it, but they probably had close to 1 million people. They probably had about 900,000 people playing it or some shit. Yeah, I mean, we talk about companies laying off and Canon Studios all the time, and it's always they just reported record profits. They just had a best-selling game. They own an award-winning franchise, and they fire a lot of people. It's the same story. And it's the same regurgitated rhetoric to more efficiently meet the demands of the ever-evolving industry, yada yada. Just some fucking regurgitated rhetoric like that. It doesn't mean anything. Here's what that means. We're greedy fucking bitches, and we don't care about these motherfuckers that just made us a lot of goddamn money, and we don't care about you bitches that give us your money for these fucking video games. Fuck them and fuck you. That's what it means. We didn't even care enough about you, the customer, to tell you the goddamn truth. We're not even care about you. Tell us that, yeah, we're greedy bitches, and that's why we did it, because we don't give a fuck. We're just going to lie to you about it. It's literally what happened and what those statements mean. This was covered just in Eurogamer and Games Radar. I thought it was funny. That was really funny. I don't play God of War, but apparently I do remember there being issues. People like, needs a mature rating, whatever. Apparently there's a scene in like Aphrodite's bedroom or something, or her hall, or her throne room. Her bed looks like a labia. I don't even know what a pussy is, bro. It's been so long since I've seen one. I can't even say it, bro. God of War's infamous sex mini games were actually designed by women. That's right. So this article, both these articles are reacting to one of these women's statements to make sure everybody out there knows that, yeah, it wasn't a bunch of fucking horny, sweaty dudes that did this. This was made by women. Women came up with that scene, designed that scene. It was their ideas. Everything was made by women. Everything that looks like a clitoris, a labia, everything, all of that was made by women. So, anybody getting bent out of shape and hating on the game for this erotic bedchamber, because it did catch heat. I remember that. Get over yourself. It was made by some women's, not some horny old sweaty dudes. Here's a sad story. This is a Helldivers story. The story's about a Helldivers fan. My life got basically ruined overnight. Helldivers 2 player challenged the devs to a charity challenge and got fired from their job and their volunteer place. Yeah. So this guy has a life, right? He's not like a gamer where he just plays a bunch of fucking games, right? Helldivers 2 was his game. It was the only game he played. It's all the game he had time to play. All right? But apparently, you know, some people thought Helldivers could be too hard. And this guy was one of them. He created a charity event to challenge the developers to play the games, hardest whatever, to see if they themselves could complete it. Because he felt like if everybody could see them do it, then he would shut up about it if they could actually do it. But apparently there was an even more vocal segment of the Helldivers community. They disagreed. They disagreed so much they doxed this motherfucker. This dude had a job at an electric company. He'd been employed at it 7 years. He got fired. He's also volunteered at a horse ranch. I think that's what the charity was supposed to be about, tied to the horse ranch somehow. They fired him too. Then he went on to say, in a sad manner, here's his post, that he's not playing Helldivers ever again. He's probably not going to play video games, and he doesn't have much of a digital footprint, and that he's fucking going to get rid of what little he does have. Yeah, he's not a fucking... Yeah. The bro didn't know how to hide his personal information and where he worked because he's not a fucking gamer. He doesn't know how trollish and toxic gamers can be, man. Helldivers got... You think Rust is bad, bro? God damn. Play some Helldivers. As a new Helldiver player, go load up Helldivers and see if you can find you a co-op. People will leave your instance, kick you from your instance. That's one of the reasons I fucking just uninstalled it. Yeah, this harassment led to doxing, which the OP says, the guy who created the post, says got them banned from a charity they volunteered at for secondary security reasons. Yeah. Whatever he did violated their security protocols, or they're getting too much attention, and they're like, no. Privacy, some privacy stuff has been violated. Yeah. Fucking real life doxing, man. This article is from the Helldivers devs. Apparently Helldivers devs have admitted that, yeah, the game's crappy because we really don't know what we're doing. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like they don't know what they're doing. I mean, they made a pretty good game. It's a AAA title, competitor. They have a great marketing department that generated a lot of FOMO. But apparently there's things that they don't know how to fix because while it's like they know enough about Unreal Engine to get them in trouble. And that's what this article basically says. We're better, but we're still not happy. The article talks about them addressing the download size, which they recently changed. Is like about half of what it used to be, I think. I get it confused because Call of Duty did the same thing. They separated the Warzone portion of the download from the rest of the game, so it was smaller. And Helldivers did that too. Two different companies, two different games, doing the same thing. Arrowhead Games Studio has been gradually resolving these problems in recent months, and CEO has once again got candid about the team's failings. He responds to someone asking about the engine, and he specifically says, he goes, the Unreal Engine gives what you put into it, is what he said. Meaning, if you know a lot, you can do a lot with it. If you don't know anything, you're not going to get anything out of it. That's exactly this. I am articulating what his sentiment is, basically. So, yeah. He comes out and says, we don't know enough about it. You get what you put into it, like anything. and he doesn't feel like he's put enough into it. They know enough about it, but it's the older Unreal Engine. He goes on to say in the article that they were too far along vested in the game's development cycle to change or upgrade to a new engine. And he says maybe that has hampered them in adapting and addressing issues and bugs too. So there you go, developers being... But remember, this is a corporation. This is owned by Sony. Sony owns Helldivers. This isn't some indie studio. These guys have to put out, or they get canned, because Sony just canned a... I want to say Blue Origin. It's not. That's the space. Yeah, Blue Point. They just canned Blue Point. And Blue Point been around forever. Anyways, moving right along. Couple articles about Marathon. Marathon Twitch drops are being eaten up by full inventories. I mean, first of all, if I'm going to accept the Twitch drop, I would make sure my inventories are full anyways. Secondly, if you got full inventories, don't be accepting shit. It's just common sense. But apparently, once you accept the Twitch drop into your inventory, they can't be saved in your inventory. So there's a problem with these Twitch drops not going to like the users or the owners' vaults, or being recognized in their inventory as a undeletable item. It's not recognizing those. And so motherfuckers are losing their skins that they've earned through their Twitch engagement. Yeah, they're just gone immediately. Bungie responds quickly to Marathon microtransactions backlash. First patch will make the game slightly easier. So we know why they did it. You could buy so much with in-game currency, but the minimum skin costs just a little bit more than what so yeah, you had to buy another lot of in-game currency and it was stupid. And we know these corporations do that on purpose to make you buy more. Well, because there was so much backlash about this shicey type of fucking behavior, Bungie said, okay, all of you who already bought, so basically for the same amount of money, you get more in-game currency. You used to get 1,100 and you needed 1,120 to get skins, like the base skins. So they're giving all the people that already bought, they're giving you your 20 extra, but the new price is now 1,120. So that's what this article is about. Bungie made it right. Because we talked about it last week, or Friday or Tuesday last week. But they did the right thing. They're doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing. But Bungie has a history, even with like dying. Oh my God, I almost called it Dynasty. Destiny. Bungie's game Destiny and their vaults. Their vault issues they had and had a lot of problems with and got a lot of heat. So they are slowly learning their lessons, or thinking that they're going to spill. Because most of the people that play Marathon are Halo players, Destiny players, right? They're used to the gameplay. They're used to the style. Anyways. So they're making it right, though. That's only because... Now, listen, if nobody would have said anything, would they have fixed it, though? Would they have done the right thing? No, if they were interested in doing the right thing, they would have done the right thing from the go. So, yeah, people are losing... I'm sure these people will get their skins back. I hope they do. Thankfully, these drops don't include any exclusive cosmetics that can be lost forever. The Twitch event did include some cosmetics earned through watching Marathon streamers while your Bungie account was linked with your Twitch account, though those are rewarded in game without the need of a physical loot package. Okay, I guess some of the loot packages you're talking about are like heals and ammo and things like that, consumables. They did differentiate. The skins were go directly to your account. These were consumables, and if there wasn't space in your inventory for the consumable, instead of the game marking it as a secure drop that it can't be deleted. They deleted them. This is from just today. This is news about Crimson Desert. It's not a mirage. Crimson Desert system requirements are here, and they don't seem that bad. Because if you saw the gameplay footage release, you're like, man, how demanding is this game going to be? Let's remember. Let's give you Crimson Desert is made by Pearl Abyss, the same company that made Black Desert Online. Crimson Desert was originally supposed to be the next Black Desert Online, but better. Crimson Desert in development was originally designed to be an MMO RPG open world PvP game. Through its development, it decided, hey, we're going to be a single player game. But by the time that decision came, Crimson Desert already had all these mechanics and systems in place for the game that are more akin to something you'd find in an MMORPG, multiplayer, open world PvP game, right? So this single player game is very robust with a lot of these mechanics and systems in place. And some of the reviews by the artists, some of the reviews in the articles I read by the journalists who had some of the early access to the game a couple weeks ago said it does feel like that. It feels like all this stuff makes it feel like it's supposed to be an MMORPG, but it's not. It's a single player RPG game, story game. All right. So if you're out there looking for information about Crimson Desert, don't be confused. This is a single player game now. But I think Pearl Abyss is doing this because they're losing money. They need to get some funding. I bet they're going to release this once they get some money and see how it goes. Once they do that, I bet you the multiplayer comes out because it's already a multiplayer game. Consider this the single player version of a multiplayer game that already exists. It's just under the hood. Because of that, people were worried about the download size. How big is it? How demanding is it going to be? A lot of speculation. Because even the guys who did the 6-hour playthrough, the journalists, they're like, well, that's not our computer. The game seemed like it ran play, but it's their computers, it's not our machines. So here we go. It's official. Here's your system specs. It's not that bad at all. Oops, stop it. Their ultra setting, 4K 60 FPS, NVIDIA 5070 Ti or a Radeon 9070. It's not bad, guys. Intel i5? Huh? For ultra settings? That's not bad, if this is true. See, they preface it. They say down here, the performance figures shown are based on internal testing results. Performance may vary depending on your PC's hardware, software, yada, yada, yada. It's a DirectX 12 game. Here's high settings. So 16 gigabytes, Windows 10. It is Windows 10. Because they started development of this game when Windows 10 was mainstream and popular. So yeah, it's good. It still supports Windows 10 moving into the future. Even though you got to pay money to still use Windows 10 now. Low settings, 1080p, 30 FPS, Radeon 6500, Radeon RX 6500 XT, and GTX 1660. That's on an Intel 5 8500 or a Ryzen 5 2600X. Any day now it's coming out. I saw a bunch of articles on this. I only took 2 of them though because they basically say the same thing and it's easy to summarize. The titles say it all. The cost, this is a quote. Both of them say the same thing because this is a direct quote from what Epic Games has said. They literally said this. Meanwhile, you're trying to keep your electricity on, right? You can't, try to pay these electricity bills. The cost of running Fortnite has gone up a lot, and we're rising prices to help pay the bills, Epic Games says, announcing V-Bucks, changes, and more. Yeah, they're charging more for in-game currency. Fortnite to raise V-Buck prices later this month to help pay the bills. What do you think about that? Fartniters, you Fartniters, y'all go play some Fortnite. MMO raises subscription prices less than 2 months after ditching microtransactions. What? Yes. If you're a RuneScape fan, you may be in revolt with these other fans because read it and weep. Read it and weep. MMO raises subscription prices less than 2 months after ditching microtransactions, causing RuneScape fan revolt. Yeah, I mean, when you do it that soon, it's obvious that it was planned ahead of time. Because when you ditch microtransactions, it makes us feel like you're listening to the community and you care about us. And then you bitches go and fucking raise the goddamn prices of your monthly subscription. Oh, man. Just shy of 2 months ago, Jagex made the bold move of getting rid of RuneScape's microtransactions. It was a decision celebrated throughout the community. Now they're like, ha ha, gotcha. Gotcha. And see, this is like exploitation. This is like taking advantage of somebody. They're exploiting the fact that they already have a strong customer base. They're exploiting the fact that they know that most of these people aren't even going to go anywhere. They'll cry, they'll be loud and blow up the fucking forums and type their fucking fingers to tears. But that's it. They'll keep spending the money, though. And they know that. If you really want to speak out and you're really that mad, then just stop giving them your money. Overwatch senior dev says, using Steam player accounts to dunk on multi-platform releases like Marathon is big, unemployed, maidenless behavior. Unemployed, maidenless behavior. Where's your maiden? He's with my rook. My squire stole my maiden. That's what kind of a lowly knight I am. Yeah, that's what this statement means. So yeah, this Games Radar article is kind of hypocritical because even Games Radar was talking about the numbers. Every games outlet out there was talking about the marathon numbers, and a lot of them referred to Steam charts. Steam charts is not a reliable for fucking anything other than only games, only on Steam. And that's why this guy with Overwatch, this senior dev, knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's like, you can't rely on those numbers. Overwatch, for example, more people play Overwatch through the Blizzard app. Yeah, this is one of those instances where a gaming platform has more players than it does on, and that's because Blizzard was originally only on its own platform before also coming to Steam, which was a smart move. But it was also Blizzard. They got the clout to do something like that and swing their nuts around. They weren't like an indie studio. And there were articles just like, oh yeah, man, but they don't have the Arc Raiders numbers. Well, Arc Raiders is a multi-platform too. So my dissent to this article is, well, guy, when it comes to multi-platform games, Steam numbers are pretty close in gauging, you know, what percentage of the active user player base of global humans that play video games is taking. It's a good gist of it. So, for example, there's like 100 and something thousand players playing Arc Raiders, for example. The last time I looked, there was like that many. It was early in the morning, and there was like 70,000 people playing Marathon. Well, Arc Raiders is a multi-platform game too. So for articles to base numbers on Steam and to say, yeah, there's not many as Arc Raiders is accurate. It's very accurate because there's not. And it's going to be like that on the other platforms too. There isn't going to be a disparity, you know. There isn't going to be a strong population of console players. It's a pretty even spread. So while this guy is like trying to make it look like these motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about, they're not accurate numbers, no, but it's a good measure. It's a very good measure. and using the Steam charts as a measuring stick is, they're real numbers. They're not fake generated numbers. They're accurate numbers straight from the Steam's databases. It's not like some motherfuckers back there manually typing in shit and making it up. So, that's almost all for the news today. But I found this article on GameIndustry.biz I liked. And we're going to close the news off with this article. A guide to identifying cheating in online video games in 2026. That's right. The cheating landscape has changed. If you didn't know, cheaters, people who are looking out and defending themselves against cheaters. I'm just fucking with you. A guide to identifying cheating. The cheating landscape is becoming ever more advanced with the introduction of generative AI giving just about anyone the ability to make their own cheating tools. With recoil, no recoil. Yeah, with recoil script. A recoil script is cheating, but it's not the same thing as like a wall hack or an aimbot. And that's what this article is talking about. How easy it is to create anti-recoil scripts for your gaming mouse. And all gaming mouse housing, I'll show you. Right now, there's a lot of heat on Logitech because, anyways, but all gaming mice have Lua scripting ability. All of them. All of them. It's a feature that all advanced gaming mice have. And even like non-gaming mice that are advanced for multitasking, like if you're a video editor and shit. Not like me. It's been so long since I've... Here we go. Add macros. Fart. No, where's the scripting at? Where's the scripting? That's not scripting. Did they remove that feature? No. I haven't messed with like putting macros or anything. Long time. Oh gosh, where's it at? Okay, I'm not gonna go look for it. Yeah, they've changed the UI on the Logitech G Hub interface. It used to be associated with the macro section. Like you want to create a macro or create a script. And most major, everybody, Logitech, SteelSeries, Corsair, everybody does. It's Lua or LAU or whatever how it's spelled. Lua scripting language, and that's what it's talking about. Generative AI, or even like Gemini, just basic Gemini will write you a basic Lua script. You don't have to go pay anybody for it for your recoil. For all games like Call of Duty or CSGO. CSGO is a big time. Rust is a big time. Games with for scripting. Most of these games have pretty good anti-cheat. But it's not the anti-cheat that'll get you, you know. It's the anti-recoil hack. This guy has ungodly grouping. Why is every shot hit me in the fucking head? Maybe an aimbot, but it could be just a fucking steady hand and a fucking anti-recoil script. A brief history of cheating in video games. Oh my god. It's a great article. Go give it a read. But it didn't occur to me because I'm not a cheater. It didn't occur to me to use like my Gemini to create a fucking hack or a recoil script. I'm curious, where's that at in Logitech? I'll just ask Gemini again. Logitech G Hub Lua scripting how to access. Okay, click the active profile. Okay. Click manage profile in the drop down menu. Find the profile you want to script for. Okay. Beneath the game name, you will see a profile section with a
default profile.
Oh, it's right. It's right here. There it is. See that right there? Create Lua script. This is in every gaming mouse. And it's like a programming language. It's like a basic programming language. Really, really basic. Like something like this. That's just me asking Gemini. All I typed to the Gemini was Logitech G Hub Lua scripting how to access. It gave me instructions because of the new UI, and then it understanding the scripting interface. No. I don't want to. Here to encourage nobody to do the. Please don't tell it. Please don't hit me up like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go refill my coffee, and we're going into the next part of the show where I edit my moves.